Hey folks, back again, this time with Evil Portal. This list has been around for a little bit, since the, start of this expansion, but didn't seem very good, so I never really tried it. With the addition of Combustion Demon and the new Portal Legendary, figured, that was as good a time as any since I pulled 3 of them. So I made this deck, and I've actually been on a pretty good win streak. I've climbed like 40k points in a couple days, not playing too much. As for the deck itself, obviously you include anything that auto-evolves. Your Spinna, your Vren Puppeteer, since she's kind of 2 evolves in 1. Sylvia is just a great card. The Tien and Fior, you obviously need 3 of them because you want them in your hand as soon as possible, because they give you the OTK. Tien gives Storm to Fior. Fior gives double attack to everything else, and kind of clears the way. Romul's great for ramping. Ameth is great with all these auto evolves, can control resonance a little bit later on. And Combustion Demon gets rid of a lot of extremely annoying last words. Melteos, Gelts if you run into them, what have you. And he's a great play on 7, generally. He usually clears the board, and kind of has to be answered, unless you're about to die. Resolve gets to 5 really quickly, and it's just card draw. Makes your matchup against Sanctuary a lot better, because you can destroy the Sanctuaries, or just push for lethal later on through a ward if they Yukari up. Karula, he's good, but I probably wouldn't craft 3 of them, since I'm only playing 2, since that's what I have. You could probably replace them with wings or something if you have those, or want to craft those since they're a newer card. And the focuses, they used to be worlds, but since I have Karula and I never want to play a world, I just replace it with focus, because you want to be evolving as often as you can, as soon as you can. So, the first match is against Shadow. You're going to be seeing a lot of these. Generally, what you want to get in your mulligan, you want to get Tien especially. Always Tien. Hard mulligan for Tien if you don't have it. Fiora is also really good to have, obviously. And the final card that you want, generally, is going to be Colossus, to answer boards. It doesn't really matter though. As long as you get the twins, then it's more than likely going to be fine. Going first, Romul is fine to play on 2. You're not really trying to save her for anything. And Fluffy Angel is pretty much the best 3-drop that you're gonna play. The only punish here for not attacking that thing was somehow him double pinging my Fluffy Angel. So naturally, of course, he had it. The hand is pretty suspect, and you don't really want to play any of your great stuff. So, since I have 2 Combustion Demons, I'll go ahead and use one. But I like to try to save them for 7, or a Milteo. So, again, I really don't have a great play next turn. I really want to save this for Milteo if I can, but there's really not a lot else in my hand that I can play. So, here's a time where Ameth is kind of useful. You can maybe dig for something else, but that's not good. So, it's the saddest resolve you'll ever see. It's okay that I'm out of resonance, since I'm definitely going to play Combustion next turn. Targeting the Milteo. Thankfully, he has to trade off the little skeletons, so it doesn't really matter. I don't have to trade into that big ward. I don't care if I take 7. I'm not going to die from 14 before Grimory's active. And you're just building up evos. This guy, obviously, bricked a little bit since he doesn't have Grimoire active on 6. So, this turn is just get as many evos as possible. I know it's gonna... Or, he's already had Grimoire, so it doesn't really matter if I kill these things or not. The OTK goes through quite a bit of stuff. Like, just one invincible monster trio usually isn't enough to stop it. You can get through that, unless your luck is absolutely abysmal. But if they do this, then you're perfectly fine, obviously. One ward is definitely not enough. So, I could do Colossus, but I'd prefer just to do it this way. And there you go. So, next, we have Haven. You can generally always assume it's going to be Sanctuary. It's more often than not that. If it is Amulet, it's really not a terrible matchup for you at all. Just beat them normally. You kill them way faster than they kill you. Again, mulligan for the same stuff. Pure, Tien, Colosseum. The only times you would keep Colosseum if you don't have Tien are against Blood and Shadow to kill Bonanzas, or to stop them from just killing you, in Blood's case. The thing about this matchup is that you can get close to killing them, but you won't. And if you get too greedy, it can backfire on you. Just go for the OTK. It's a lot safer. And as long as you put a lot of pressure on them, then they can't just do it as they want to. There's the Ra. Unfortunately, there's no way to get that extra damage quite yet. I haven't evolved enough for Tien already. So, again, just keep evoing as often as you can. Next turn's almost certainly going to be Puppeteer and Focus to refill the hand. Unless you draw a Karula, that does clear the board. And with that, with the amulet popping next turn, and I still have a Evo left, that'll be enough. You can just Evo her, and then since he's at 14 instead of full, the OTK, it's not a full OTK with just the two of them, but it does do 16 damage with just the two of them. So it's an almost OTK with the robot, but in this game we actually had so much that even the puppet could get stormed, because we didn't need it to proc them. So it was a full OTK. Storm puppet for the finish. finally, against Blood, generally you're going to be losing this unless they kind of brick. Like, it just does not work out. They have really good board clears for your wards and just beat you to death before you get your combo off. And there's not really enough healing. I guess World could be useful here, but then you're still not gonna do anything fast enough. And they do way more damage than you. So. The thing about Fjord is if you don't really have anything else to play, and you generally don't want to, he does reduce damage. In this case, I wanted to put a body on the board, because, well, I just want a body on the board. And sure enough, he did that. You want to get rid of that thing. That's priority number 1. It's extremely annoying. And I didn't have a Karula or any other way to deal with it effectively. Golem would take 2 hits, and I'm not really trying to live that life. Next turn, you have Sylvia and Golem. Controlling your resonance in the first few turns is actually pretty important. If you're going first, you'll have it on odd turns, naturally. If you're going second, you'll have it on even turns. So, a good play going second, if you don't draw a card, is like Sylvia into Ramiel, or maybe a double-attacking Spinna. But if you play Tien, you can't do that unless you draw another card. So be careful about that. And if you want to play Sylvia going first, then you can drop Tien if you have her, and then you'll be in resonance on even turns from then until you draw another card. It's actually quite important, because Sylvia's kind of a dead card in your hand if you're not in resonance. It's really kind of sucky to play her for 4 and not have her auto-evolve. But yeah, this guy didn't have the best draw. Like, he didn't get any of those clash things. So he never got to refill his hand from 0, basically. And he didn't draw a ball. And it's still not a great matchup. It's just kind of whatever. This one, I actually never drew Tien, so it's a great thing that he didn't draw super well, because I didn't draw the best either. So from here, we're just playing a value game. Like, just play the best cards you can, make as big a board as possible, and hopefully he doesn't clear everything. It's very likely you could die from this, even here, but now he's without evos, so that's that. So the first few days, you can see, pretty decent overall. Some decent win streaks. Quite a few games against Shadow and Haven near the end. He does pretty well against them. I don't know if that'll always be true, but at least at the start. And I imagine against Sanctuary, since you have Resolve, it should remain that way. Just watch out for Blood. If there's a bunch of Blood, you might want to switch decks to something else. So that's basically it for today. I'll have a deck code in the description if you want to give it a try. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment below. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you want to. I'll probably try to make a couple more videos, maybe about Amulet Haven next. I've always been partial to that. But until next time, see ya.